Oh, hi there. Did you know that for almost a full century that it was extremely difficult, if not impossible, for investors like you and I to buy high-end stocks simply because it costs too much per share? That's because one share of many of these great companies and funds are a couple hundred to several hundreds of dollars, sometimes even in the thousands of dollars. And as you may know now, you don't want to put your entire life savings or a significant portion of it into one share because it might not be the soundest of investments, even if it's a good company. Well, things have changed quite a bit over the last few years. A lot of good programmers, engineers, and entrepreneurs have come up with a way for us to buy and get access to these high-end stocks for as low as $1. Interesting. And no, this is not a joke, it's not clickbait, this is actually something that I'm doing right now. In fact, I just bought $5 worth of Amazon, just like that. Now, if you're getting started on your investing journey, which includes stocks, stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. Now, the name is Kai, if you haven't been to the channel before, and I left my day job at 27, bought some land, hand-built my own home, and now I live debt and mortgage free. And I spend most of my days making videos just like this for people just like you, going over everything on how to enhance your financial life as well as your day-to-day life. Now, we're moving today outside the studio because I've been trapped in there, which feels like days. It's actually been probably one day. And we're coming down here downstairs where there's a little bit better lighting. And for October, it's a beautiful fall day. So I'm going to try to take advantage of this lighting while I still can. Now that's looking pretty darn good. Now, if that kind of stuff interests you, I suggest that you subscribe right here or the big red button just down below. Let's get into this today. Alright, to start us off, just full disclaimer, I am not a professional financial advisor, and by no means am I trying to encourage you or tell you to do something with your money because I am not giving you any financial advice. So before we jump into exactly how and where I recommend you can buy smaller bits of stocks, let's get a little bit more background story on how we buy and sell stocks and how they're set up, especially if you're new to this. Now, if you're not new to this, what I'll do is I'll put a little timestamp right here so you can click straight to that time in the video so you can skip over this and get right to the meat of it. But essentially, for the longest time, we had to buy full shares of stocks to actually invest in a company. So you have to buy one. Now, a lot of times you can't do that because it's really stinking expensive for certain shares or if you want to get involved with a certain company. And a lot of times when we first start off investing, we don't have tens of thousands of dollars to buy just 10 shares of Google, for example. So what we're doing now, or what companies and investment companies have done, is that they purchase up a giant portfolio and then they divvy it up and they sell it to investors. So for example, let's say this is my portfolio. It's empty right now, right? And I go around and I want to make this, let's call this, I want to make a tech portfolio. So I want to focus on tech-based companies. And I go around and I go pick a couple of stocks from Google and I put it in here. I go take a couple from Tesla, I put it in here. And I go buy some Apple and I put it in here. And then I close it up and this is my portfolio for tech. And I just kept it for myself. It would be considered one share of this portfolio or this fund. How much would that be worth if this entire portfolio was $10,000? Let's just make up a number. That's right. That one share would be worth $10,000. Now, what if I divided this up between the two of us? I didn't change anything inside this portfolio or inside this fund, but I now made two shares, one for you, one for me. How much is each one of those shares worth now? That's right. Yours is worth $5,000, mine is worth $5,000. Now, let's say that we divided it up by, I don't know, 10,000 shares. So we can sell it and give it to friends and families. Now, how much is each share worth? You're right again, $1 each, because it's this fund, this entire portfolio is worth $10,000. And if I divide it into little tiny chunks of 10,000, each one of those little chunks is worth $1. That, my friend, is the essence of a mutual fund. And that's how you own bits and pieces of large companies. Now, the problem with that is a lot of times with mutual funds, such as the example I just gave you, is that there's large management fees and you own a bunch of companies that you probably don't want to be involved in. And so it's a give and take. You get to partially invest in the company that you want to, but at the same time, you're probably investing in several others, maybe even dozens of other companies that you may not necessarily want to invest in, whether it's ethical and moral reasons or because just fiscally it's not the sound decision that you may want to make. So enter this new age of investing. So the app that I like to use is called SoFi, and it allows you to do something that's a little bit different that more and more brokerages or brokers are actually allowing you to do, where you can buy fractions or pieces of a stock. Now, some of them have limits where you have to buy at least $25 worth, $10 worth, $5 worth. I like SoFi not only because of the user interface and it's pretty user-friendly, but also that you can go down as low as a single dollar. That's right, $1 you can buy virtually all these different types of stocks. Now let me just type in my PIN here so I can get into it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So how this works is basically I'm just going to be right down here at the bottom. You can see at the bottom, the little bottom menu here, you have the home, the relay, money, and invest. I'm in the investment tab right now. You scroll on down all the way down to discovery. What we're interested in here are stock bits right here. Now, if you scroll down, these are all the things that you can invest and buy into for as low as $1. It's not a joke, and I'll buy one right now with you here. Let's see, there's one of my favorites in here, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, VOO, which basically invests in, well, let me click on it so you can see. Right here. And you scroll down, you can read the description of what the fund or what that stock is. Now you can go down, you can actually see the details of that particular fund or that stock and what the top 10 holdings are. In this case is a fund. So what that means is in a fund like this is that it allows you to track the overall market. So if the economy is doing really well, this fund is going to do fairly well as well. And then if the market tanks, well, it's going to follow suit. But the interesting thing is over the last, I believe, 60 years, the market or the S&P 500 has given an average of 7.2% year-over-year return. So investing in something like this, you might see dips as we see right here, but overall, you're going to see an upward swing if you're value investing and you're investing in the long term. So let's go buy now. And once I go there, I'll be taken to this screen right here. So for here, in this case, let's say that I'm gonna buy, I wanna buy $15 worth. Review. Now right here, it's gonna review the purchase, and then I'm gonna hit place order. The order is scheduled, done. And that's it. Now let's say I go back into there, go with stock bits. Let's see if there's something else that I wanna buy. I can buy Apple, right? Let's go in here and buy Apple. Apple, I want to buy $5 worth. That's all I can afford right now. And review, place order, done. And let's do one more just to show you how easy this is. What's another good company? I really like Starbucks. Starbucks is a good one. By the way, I haven't done the research on these ones yet. I have. It's just they're not up to date. So I'm buying these as a reminder to go back and review and study up on them. So for this one, Starbucks, I know it's a fairly decent company. Let's see, so I'll go to buy. Right now I'll do $5 of this. Place order, done. So what I'd suggest that you do is download this app, SoFi, and I'm gonna have a link down below where if you sign up for it, which is totally free, and you deposit your first $100, we both get $50 in free stock. Not a bad way to start off your investment journey. Now, with that $100 that you first put in there, and you don't have to invest all 100, you can put that into the savings account, that high yield savings account, and invest, let's say $20. I'd say pick about 4 to 5 stocks or funds that you're interested in. Invest $1 just to start off so you can start tracking it, keep it in the back of your mind, and then you do a little bit of research, and I'll also provide that book link down below if you're interested in value investing, but give you some time to research, learn more about those companies, and I'll make another video on another great app and software program that's totally free that you can look into to find and research these companies. Now, the reason why some of us would want to do this is buying parts and pieces of stocks instead of buying the whole share is because we're entering the market. We're new, we're learning, we're still trying to crawl before we can walk, let alone run. So in the beginning, when we're learning, we don't want to invest a large or even all of our life savings or all of our investment fund into the stock market. For one, buying individual stocks, just like Google or an Apple, is extremely risky because if anything were to happen and that stock tanks, you've just lost a significant, if not all of your money. So that's where you hear professionals and investors and other folks really encouraging you to diversify. Now, I have my own thoughts about diversification, but in this sense, they're right. You don't ever want to really put all of your money into a single stock. But with that said, I like using this because it's a great learner's tool if you have only even $20 to start investing, because it allows you to invest into something and allows you to keep your eyes on that stock or portfolio of stocks. I mean, in theory, you can have 20 different stocks for 20 bucks. As you learn how to assess companies, you read through their financials, and you understand the business and how the market works. So I love this for up-and-coming teenagers or even adults who are learning to get into investing with stocks and funds. Now, the brilliant thing behind this too is that it's free. For a lot of you out there who are younger, you may not know that at a certain point in time, we used to have to pay a significant amount of money per transaction. So whether I sold one share or I sold 100 shares of something, it would cost me a flat rate and then sometimes a small commission on top of it. And as you can see, that would make things very expensive when you're trying to learn the market and you only have $20 or $30 to start investing with. So now there's great companies and apps out there like SoFi who have a great historical record of money management and loans and cards, and now they have even a money market account or a high yield savings account where you can keep and track all of your money in one place. Now, going on that, this is a great thing to where you can also get a high yield savings account where I believe the current interest rate is 1.8%, not the absolute best in the industry, but still pretty darn good in terms of an interest rate in a savings account. You can keep your money in there that you're not ready to invest. You can pay your bills out of it, send money, transfer back to your brick and mortar bank, and at the same time, you can transfer back and forth between your investment account and your savings account. Which gets me into the next point, is that I want you to take a look at this, and when we're looking at companies, let's take Netflix for example, we want to be value investing. And what I mean by that is we're not speculating or trading because we notice that other people are trading or that there's certain that happened overseas in China or there's political trade wars and all this stuff and the reason why we buy and sell. When I say value investing, what I suggest and I encourage is that you understand the company and you understand and you're reading through the financials and investing in the company itself, not speculating on what politics or what other people or what the economy is doing. Does that make sense? Because the economy could be doing really poorly, but the company is extremely sound. And those are two different things. And now I know that sounds complicated, but it's actually a lot more simple than it seems. And what I'll do is I'll actually put a great book down in the description below that I would highly suggest if you're interested more in value investing. But to help get you started, all we need to do is instead of buying one share of Netflix for $282 right now, $283, is buy $5 of it so you can keep track of it. You are somewhat invested. You have skin in the game per se. All right, with that all said, I want to make it perfectly clear that you should only be investing what you're willing to lose in the stock market anyways. Actually, that's across the board. You don't want to take your life savings that you need to eat, live, and breathe on and put it into the stock market or put it in real estate or any other type of investment. You want to be able to, especially when you're starting off, is put money in that you can lose and you'll be totally fine. So don't be using your 6-month rainy day fund for this. Use money that you start saving now or the penny pinching one like I did in my last video. I'll put it right here. That's the type of money that I use when I want to invest. And understand that this is going to be a process and a journey. SoFi is a great app, and a lot of these other RobinHood, M1, Webull apps are also just equally as good in their own right. But the thing is that nothing can substitute you learning the system and understanding how it works. So get started today, take that 20 bucks or the money from the cup of coffee that you normally get in the morning and start investing it and start learning how to make real money. All right, if you found today's video helpful and you enjoy making money, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe right here if you haven't yet. Now I'm gonna put up a video that's gonna pop up right here that talks about how I value stocks and how I find the companies that I want to put into my portfolio. Now remember, these videos are gonna be a little bit older. They were like when I first started the channel, so they're a little bit quality's kind of iffy, but the message is gonna be the same. And I'm gonna release some more updated videos on stock investing here in the next couple months, so stay tuned for that. And then right here, as always, I'll put my videos on how I got into real estate and how real estate really allowed me and afforded me the lifestyle that you see right behind me. Other than that, I love you all. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Peace out. With that all said, let's jump into this.